Hello everybody, welcome to Towns. This is going to be kind of a practice game. I've already done an indie test drive for this, and if you want to learn more about the game and how to get it and how much it costs and what it's all about, then I recommend you go to my channel and do a search for Towns, or Towns Alpha. I just did it a couple days ago, I don't know, 3-4 days ago. Today I'm just going to play and try to familiarize myself with the game, and then I want to start making Let's Play and maybe even some tutorials. I like the game a lot. I'm having a lot of fun with this thing. Considering it's in alpha, early alpha, it's 0.402. It's got a lot to offer, and I can see this becoming quite popular, and I'm enjoying it immensely. So I figured a Let's Play was in order, although this is kind of a learning experience for me, and if you want to watch and learn too, then sit back and chill. Alright, so here we are. I'm on a new map, brand new. My villagers here are ready to roll, and I'm going to resume the game. I've learned a lot since my first indie test drive, so I'm just going to kind of cruise. I may go fast. I might not explain everything. Again, this is kind of a Let's Play-ish learning experience for me. So I've only played 1 or 2 games so far. Haven't gotten real far yet. I did get down into the dungeons and I fought some. I had a population at one point of about 20 people, which is pretty good, with great food production. Everybody was armed and dangerous. Alright, so we've chopped down some trees. I'm just clearing some land here to begin with to make an area that we can work with. So as you can see, my little villagers, I just put out the order for something to happen, and then somebody will happily go do it. Alright, so now I have all this little space here. I'm going to create a stockpile for my raw materials, and I'm just going to drop it over here on the... We'll make a wood. Now, I have figured out what this stuff does. Right-click on the stockpile, all this enable and disable. I only want to enable wood and stone. That means they're only going to go out and gather wood and stone and put it on that stockpile. There we go. Good peoples. And otherwise, you're going to have them running all over the map, grabbing stuff that I don't want them to grab yet. That's how they get killed early in the game. So now we're going to create a zone. We're going to do a carpentry zone. And why don't we put that near the stockpile here. And we can't do anything without a carpentry bench. Oh, somebody's already getting stabbed. That's okay. Froggy attempts to spear a cow. Froggy spears a pig. As long as I don't spear my people, I don't care what the froggies spear. So looking at the map here, we're kind of in a corner. That's okay. Plenty of stone, some gravel here, coal. I saw some coal here as well. I don't see any iron anywhere nearby. Where are the froggies? Froggies are a pain in the keister. I think... Oh, the way over here. Oh, far, far away. Don't need to worry about them. All right, now we need to dig. So let's dig here. I'm going to get a ladder in that hole because we need stone. So layer 2. Somebody make me a ladder. We need stone to make a detailer, wood detailer. Carpentry bench allows us to make basic wooden tools. And the detailer will allow us to do a little more. Alright, so now we have a ladder. I can send my people down here, and I want some stone. I'm just going to say, go down and mine. There they go. You can harvest some apples, sir. And we always need lots of wood. There we go. Gathering the stone. You know what I'm going to do is make another stockpile here for stone. And I'm going to disable all immediately, and then just enable stone. A lot of this is going to be modified in the future. I know there's going to be some kind of tethering to keep people from running off and getting killed. That's one of the frustrations that people talk about in the forums. They get a little frustrated about that, but that'll be reworked. There's going to be a way to prioritize jobs. So if you want them to build walls and you want that to be a priority, they'll get to that right away. Alright, so now I'm going to disable the stone off this one. I'll have wood here and stone over here, and they'll go do that. Get to work, you stinking bum. You know what? Kill a chicken. Spies. Spies! Alright, so now what we have here is a carpentry bench and a wood detailer. I would very much like to have a mason's bench So we do more stonework, so we have to create a masonry zone. I'll put that right next to that. And mason, yeah, so we need a stone hammer for this. This is the where you build tools and set up your production. And for production, whoops, I want to do tools, utils, and the left side means a one-off. So just make me one hammer and then we're done. Right side means continuously make these hammers. Always have one in stock, for example, or one or two or whatever. So there she goes. Good job, Isabel. I knew I could count on you. She's so nice, that Isabel. Look at her. Look at that hammer. It's bigger than her. All right, so there's my hammer, and now I can make a mason's bench. I'm going to plop that down right here. Isabel is on the task. What are you other stinking bums doing? Here, go get some stone. I'm going to have to gather from some food. I don't want to gather raw food because you know what's going to happen? They run off and they start getting killed by piggies. Although they'll have to cross the river and they can't do that yet. I'm not piggies, froggies. All right, so we have our masonry bench. The next thing I'm going to make is a bakery. Did I say bakery bench? I meant mason's bench. And now we're going to make a bakery so we can start cooking some chow. And we'll put that right here. And we're going to make a baker's table, which requires, a baker's oven, which requires stone, and the baker's table, which is all wood. All right, get to work. Now, while they're doing that, I'm going to till some earth, and we're going to make our farms. And let's make our farms over here. I don't want them too close to my workshop area. My farm's going to be 3 by 3. Till it. Till it, baby. I'm going to start with wheat. And we need wood for wheat, for the wheat farms. All right, so we go to utils. I'm sorry, we go to buildings. And here is a wheat farm. Requires 4 wood. Make it, baby. Shake it, baby. We're going to do another one here. And finally one here. And we're going to need a mill, which is this here. Stone, 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 and wood. And we'll need that in order to make flour from the wheat, and then we can bake some bread. So we have our bakery, we have our baker's table, and now I'm going to assign the making of bread. So we've got food production, baking, and I'm going to make 1 bread for 1 every citizen. I have 7 citizens now. Voila. And let's see, let's get some more wood going. Always need the wood. Bushes, I believe, turn into trees. They do grow back. Maybe I'm gonna have to have some food stockpile here. You can eventually make barrels for stockpiling, which is a heck of a lot easier. All right, why don't we do this? We'll make. Let's make some animal farms because we have a ton of animals here. So let's just go over here and we're going to do a 3 by 3 tilling. Another 3 by 3 tilling here. 3 by 3 there. You can actually hold down shift and do that too. Makes it easier. You don't have to keep going back. But I always forget. Now I'm going to need a kitchen to do this kind of cookery stuff. So let's make a kitchen here. All right, now we have all these pigs and cows. We're going to need some meat product. Here he's taking the wheat. See, he's going into the mill, drops it in the mill. 3 wheat, I believe, makes 1 flour. And then they'll take the flour and go to the baker's table, I believe, or the oven, and they'll bake up some bread, and they'll start gathering bread. In fact, why don't we make a stockpile for prepared foods. Let's just put that over here. I guess I can keep that all enabled right now. There's not too many prepared foods around, except apples. All right, now we're going to gather up some of these piggy wiggies and oinkers and cows. So we're going to do cow, 2 wood, cow, pig, and pig. And they're just going to run off and start gathering the animals and bringing them back. I love this animation. They just pick them up and run back to town. Watch, watch. Gotcha. Come here, plop. Love it. And we're gonna need some more trees. Need more wood. Okay, so we have apples. I don't see a lot of bread out there yet, so I might have to make some more bakers' ovens and tables. And probably more wheat farms as well. I don't think the 3 is going to support. I think the most efficient use of a mill is about 9 wheat farms per mill. But now that we have this meat, let's do this. We can assign... oh, I'm going to need a butcher's table for that, aren't I? Well, let's gather. We can gather. This is gathering. We can gather milk. We're going to gather 4 cow milk. Cow milk is easy to get, and it's a nice little supplemental food product. There you go. Why is she grabbing that thing? Milk. Oh, she's milking it. She's flipping it upside down. We have cows down here. Maybe you can't milk these cows. I think we can only milk the extra cows. These just indicate that this is a cow farm, but they'll start popping up. Maybe they can only milk the cows that start popping up. Not sure about that. All right, so now we have... Let's grab some more stone. Start mining down there. Need more wood. And we'll start making some personal space for people to live in. And I don't mind chopping down these pear and apple trees right now. Let's dig here in the coal as well. Now I have a kitchen, right? So we're going to need a butcher table for the kitchen, as well as a kitchen table. So there we go. Get to work. Here comes. All right, let's kill the chickens too. I like the bones. You can make beds. You can make things out of bone. Kill that darn thing, would you? But we don't want them running around gathering bones all over the place because they're far and wide. All right, let's put a ladder here. Get some coal production going. And I'm going to dig in this flint, in the gravel for flint, so you can get fire started. We need fire to cook the meat until we find iron to make a kitchen, to make this thing right here, a kitchen stove, which is impossible to find iron. Well, not impossible, but it's difficult. All right, I'm going to dig down here, and we'll go to the 3rd level and see what the monsters look like. See what we're up against. Whoa! That's lots. No, that's not iron. Let's try to find some iron. Now, one of the problems or issues currently with this alpha is that once I go down here, if I put a ladder down here and I set up any kind of... Froggy attempts to spear. Okay, not spearing me. If I set up anybody as a soldier, they're going to go down there and just get into brawls constantly, and they get killed. So many of them down there. So I'm not going to do that right now. We're not going to go down to the dungeon until we are completely prepared for that. And we are definitely not ready for that. All right, so kill. All right, I have extra. All right, here's the extra cows. They're popping up from my farms, and I've got some extra piggies. So now we should be able to slaughter. I'm going to get some pork. Let's slaughter the porkies. Right here. That's reindeer. We have 2 on hand. Let's always have 2 of those on hand. And we're going to make some meat pies. And we'll have a couple of meat pies. Which means I can probably load the bread. I'd rather have the meat pies. I'm really not sure how all the food works and what's best in the numbers and so forth. But as long as we have the stockpile here, we won't run out of food. So you've got to kind of manage your slaughterings and your cookings and all that. I'm still trying to figure out how all that works. But all right, we need personal space for people to live. So why don't we... I'm going to use that area for farming. Let's make our personal space down here by the river. Down by the river! Clear it out, people. Cut these bushes too. See, they need time for resting. Otherwise, they get angry. So we need to give them some personal space where they can just chill. And that'll attract more people. So I'm going to click on zones. I'm going to hold down shift and do personal room. And then I'm just going to set up a whole bunch of personal rooms here. 3 by 3. If you make them any larger than that, one person will take up the whole space. So you don't really need much other than a bed and a decoration or two. So I'm going to put out... We have 7. I'm going to make 8. We should attract somebody. So right now, as you can see, when I point to these things, they get claimed by the citizens. So they don't waste any time. All right, let's go back over here. I want a ladder on my flint. On my gravel so we can find flint. So we can start cooking. We're going to need walls around this and the workshops to make them more efficient as well as protect them down the road. And same with the houses. So why don't we assign some wall works. Now let's see. I need kitchen. Oh, I'm going to need